We are going to be taking a look at RJ's Route66.com. This is going to be a brief overview of how to use the website. We start by going to rjsroute66.com/wp-admin, log in with the username and password that you should already have. You get this large dashboard area here, and it is completely useless, so you don't need to pay any attention to that. No reason at all. But over here, then we have our navigation area, and this is where you're going to be going a lot of the time, and it will allow you to make changes to the content, changes to the functionality, changes to settings. And we'll go through here, take a look at each one of these, and we will go in with enough detail that you should have a good understanding of how to use it. You'll probably still have some questions from time to time, and that's fine. You can text, call, email, and we are happy to help out at any point along the way to guide you in the right direction on how to accomplish what you want to accomplish. We have updates here, and we will generally be coming in and doing this for you on the updates every couple of weeks. Then we come in and we will go through and update the plugins and the theme if that's needed. And you might have times where you see that there are 2 or 3 things that need to be updated, and it's not a big deal. It's not something that needs to be taken care of instantly. We will be in there soon to get it updated. You can do it on your own most of the time. Almost every time it's fine. Every once in a while there's a problem though, and so we generally like to take care of that instead, and that way you don't ever have to worry about it one bit. If you ever do decide to, that's fine, and if there is ever a problem with that or anything else on the site, then we back everything up and we are available to help you resolve any problems that you run into along the way. We'll help you out through whatever process you need help getting through. So you can always call, email, or text us. Under theme options, then we have general, and it is general enough that there's nothing that we really need to be doing. But then we get down to header, and we do have changes you could make with color, font size, but anything like that is going to make the site possibly not function quite the way you want it to, and so generally you don't need to mess with that too much. We have header elements here and nothing that needs to be changed really. Your logo here, if you ever need to change out your logo for something else, you can, although it's a brand new logo, so it's not the most likely that you'll be doing that anytime soon. A few more aesthetic changes you can make right there. Top bar is disabled, sticky header is disabled. Under footer, we do have a little bit that does matter. We have the text for the copyright section down at the bottom of the site. It also says created by Adnook, and you can change any of that text there. A little bit more text down here that goes with those little images on the bottom that say how people can pay. We get down to blog, and all it says is that there's a sidebar that's enabled right now. If you ever decide for some reason you don't want a sidebar on there anymore, that's fine. You can disable it there. Under shop, then we can change the number of products per column and the number of products per page on the shopping cart, or on the shopping area type things with the t-shirts and so forth. And you can change that here. Change it, drag it back and forth, and make it whatever you want. Whenever you make a change, you have to click Save Changes to make them live. Right now it is not live. We have a product page over here, and we have it so that it zooms, related products show up, sharing options are there, review tabs so that people can review the product in the future so that others are more likely to buy. You can enable or disable any of those. With our styling here, this has to do with color. You can change that if you want, of course, although it's set the way that we had gone for in the first place. It should look good right now, but if you ever want to make a change, you can go in there and do that. Typography, same thing. If you ever for some reason want to change the font, you could. Social share, we have it enabled so that people can share it on any of these platforms here. If for some reason you don't want them to share it on one of these platforms, then you can always disable it. Under social media, then these are your social media channels, and you put in the address of any social media service through which you have an account, and so you can just go in here and add it in. If you get a Google Plus account or Vimeo or Flickr, anything else, then you can always go in here and add it, and then it will show up automatically on the page, and all you have to do is just have an address there, and then it will show up. Custom code is not something you need to worry about. Import-export is also something that you don't need to worry about. So that covers the theme options. Now we're going to take a look at post. And if we go into post here, we see that we have a couple already, and then these are for the blog. That's how we're using this on the website. And so if we go into edit right here, then we can see the image, and we've got the text and another image down here, back and forth like that. Looks like you've got the idea. Some are ready. It also seems that maybe you haven't quite discovered the more tag yet, which would be a good thing to be able to have. So, if we go visit the website, and we go to the blog, ideally, we would not have the entire blog post on the home page. What would be better is to have just a part of it here, and then have a little bit of each one of these on here, rather than having an entire one there. It helps to guide people so they understand that there are more posts to be looking at, and it makes it so that you can fit more content into a small space. It's an overall more pleasant reading experience. So what we want to do is find the place that is a natural breaking point in the blog. Now, I haven't taken a look at this up until now, so let's take a look real quick, and let's just cut it off here at "that was not my idea of fun," because we all know that soon then your idea of fun will come about. Alright, so we have this little thing here that says insert read more tag. And we put that in there, and once we click update, then now it ends right at that point. And then you get to click read more, and you get to see the rest of the blog post. So that gives a nice clean look here, not such a big, huge, massive information at once. It looks a little better now, and it'll especially be good once you start to have several of these on there. Several different blog posts on here. Then if you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, those amounts, then it's going to look much cleaner to be able to have just a small amount on there. If you set a featured image for this page by going down here, then it can make it so that it will look a little better. I'm not sure that these images here really quite would support that. They're large enough, but they're odd. It's an odd dimension. Normally you're going to want ones that are more side to side like this, more landscape oriented, and so I don't know that that would quite work. We can give it a try and see. Let's give that a try. And right now we'll have double images on this page because there's an image within the text itself too. Nah, it doesn't really quite work. So, you might want to get an image on those. You don't have to. It's certainly not necessary, but it's something that could make it look a little bit better. We'll click update here so it goes back to the same way that it was on that part before. If you want to make changes to the text, to the formatting of this, it's just like a word processing program. You can highlight whatever it is here, so select it, and then we can make it so that it's bold, italicized. We can make it a different color. We can link it up to another website. Make that go to google.com. We can make it so that something links to a page within the site very easily just by searching down here. And so if you start to search in here, then we can look up t-shirts. I guess maybe we have a dash in that on the site, don't we? All these different t-shirts on there. So we can go to the Route 66 Motel t-shirt and link up there. If you want to add images, you already know how to do that. You can also make these so that they align differently. Right now you have them with no alignment. You could make it so that it aligns to the left and everything wraps around it. You can also make it so that it's aligned in the center or over to the right, and we'll just put it back to where it was right now. But you can make it go wherever you want in that way. If you want to ever have a form on a page, I guess we're on a post right now. If you want to have a form on a post, then you can simply click Add Form and select whatever form it is that you want. Right now we just have the Get in Touch form, but we could have others. You can make as many as you want, of course. And we don't have the title or the description on this one. Generally enable Ajax, although it's not necessary on this particular one. It's good to have as a habit. If we click Preview on this, we can see how that looks. We ask ourselves, is that what we're wanting? Yeah, that's what we're wanting right now. And none of this is live right now. If you go to the actual blog post, then none of that is there. It looks just like it did before. These are only changes that are in a preview mode. Until you click update, then you won't have any of this show up live on the website. We're not going to click update because we don't want to do that. If you want to add a new one, you've already had some experience doing this, but we'll go through this anyway. You enter the title where it says title, and so a new post. Down here, you add whatever content you want, and we can do all the formatting and highlighting like we did before. You always have to make sure that you click blog to make sure that it shows up on that blog page. You can add tags if you want, and it could have some very small SEO benefit. It's not the most important thing in the world. It will make a little difference, but it won't be anything huge as it stands right now. You can set a featured image here as we showed before. Down here we have this little Yoast SEO area, and this really could be helpful for SEO purposes. So right now it says whatever content you want. That might not be what you want to show up when people are searching on Google. You might want to get a little more specific. So we say this is valuable content for improving your site. It's wonderful and such. Thanks so much. See you soon. Okay. And we need a few more words in there. See how this is orange right now? We know, okay, that's not really as long as what is ideal for SEO purposes. And so we add these new words in there until we get to that point, and now we got it. So we got the right length now. We can give it a different SEO title as well. Right now it just automatically shows up as a new post, and then it will say -RJ's Route 66 when it actually shows up. I don't know why it's not showing it there at this very moment, but you can make it whatever you want. And so you can just say a wonderful post about good things. And there's a limit to how much you can have on there, and they want us to have a little bit longer one right now, but we'll leave it at that for right now. You have a few other things you can change over here with it for the settings to tell some more specific technical things to the robots. You can give it a different title to show up on Facebook rather than just a new post if you want it to be something unique for the Facebook page, or a different image that shows up on Facebook than you have set as the featured image on this page. All those changes can be pretty nice. In this part here, then we want to put in a focus keyword. We're going to say our focus keyword is good things. This is what we're hoping will lead to people finding this post. And it gives us these little colors here to say this is what we're doing really bad, kind of in between, and green is something we're doing good. And that's a good measure of whether we're being successful in creating an SEO optimized post. Once you're ready to make this live, you click publish, and then it goes onto the blog automatically because it's been set under the category of blog. So it's simple enough to get that going. We don't really want that right now, so we move it to trash, and we leave. When something goes to trash, it's not gone forever right now. It's still here, and it will stay there until at some point you come in and say delete permanently. And so if you want it to be gone forever, that's the way to do it. And we deleted it permanently now because we don't need that. These just keep popping back up. That's how you cover those. If you ever need to add new categories, you can do it right here. If you want to add new tags, then you can do it through here. Normally what it would be is you're adding tags on a post as you're going about doing it. But then you can also easily go back and look and say, oh, well, what other times have I done something about food or games or a historic house tour, whatever it is. Then you can go back through and you can look at them, click on the little number, and then you will get to see which posts include that on there. And so these ones here are posts that were part of festivals that are coming up rather than being the blog ones. And we'll get to those in just a moment. In fact, that's our next task to cover. We are going to take a look at events. And these events are showing up on the events page. I believe that's actually what it's called here. Yes, it is. Events. And so we have these upcoming events. August 2016, we've got this Birthplace of Route 66 Festival. And so under events, then we can see everything that has been set up. These are all in here, and these have been added by you, I believe. So it seems like you've mostly got the idea of these already, but we're going to take another look at them anyway. So we click Add New, and so we have an event title. Down here we add any sort of text that we want to have as a part of this. And so this can be any information about it all. This is a wonderful event, and we hope you come. And you can add the same content in here just like what a post would be. Images, you can make changes to formatting, everything like that. Anytime you need to add an image, you click Add Media, and you can upload things here. You select your file that you need, and then you include it on the page. And then it will show up over in this section here. When you want to insert it, you simply select it, and then you can insert it into the post. And we'll center that. We can make this an all-day event, or we can select specific times of day. We're going to say, let's do this on July 11th, and then we'll do it at 9:40 p.m. and then we want it to end 3 days later, 2 days later, at 3 a.m. It's a crazy, crazy party. We can have saved venues over here, and so we have these different places already where you have used in the past. We're going to say Memorial Stadium. We've already got the Google map and the Google link there, which is great. Seems like you've learned how to do that. If you need to have an organizer contact info section, you can add that in there. If there's an event website, then you can type it in right here and link people up with that. You can say if there's a cost, and we can say that it's in dollars, and we want it to be $50. You can still change SEO things on this, just like on the other. Works exactly the same as with post. The excerpt part is not being used on this site, I don't believe, but it might be on this page. If it is used on here, then it would mean you can control exactly what shows up in this section here. I'm not positive if that's on there or not. But that would be a smaller version of your primary content, but it seems like you're just writing it to be short enough that it wouldn't make a difference anyway. And up here, just like before, we can set a featured image, and so we can make it so that we have a nice picture of a bridge here, and then we have an option here to hide it from event listings or sticky in month view. Either way there. We don't have any categories for events yet, and that's fine. Let's go ahead and click Publish here and take a look. There we go. And we show up with a nice featured image. Has the information about it on there. We can click here to find out more. Let's try out this excerpt real quick to see if it does work or not. This is a wonderful, that's what we're going to say instead. Yeah, so that does work there. So if you ever need to make it a different amount, if you want to have a really long, detailed set of information about it on the main event page, but then over here you just want a short thing, then you can do that. And once you click Find Out More, then you get the whole thing. And that's a very large image, isn't it? But we don't want this to continue to be an event, so we click Move to Trash. And just like before, we go into Trash, and we can see here, we don't need those anymore. And this one here from the past, the Oklahoma Modernism Weekend, I'm not gonna delete the Oklahoma one just in case it's something that's happening again this next year. You might want to keep that around, but we will click Delete permanently for the one that we just made. Over here, then you can create the event categories, create the tags. We can add venues, and you've already done that with several of these, which is great. For organizers, you can have preset organizers, which is also very useful. Under Settings, then we have a good number of little changes that can be made on exactly how things show up. You can take a look through this and you can mostly figure this out on your own, exactly how you want it to be set up, whether you want it to be a list or you want it to be a calendar, day view, whatever it is you think is best is fine. You can go through and figure that out for the most part. We have some add-ons here, and I think these are paid add-ons for the most part. You can take a look at those and see. If there's anything that's useful for you, you can explore that. Under Media, then we do have all the media files from the page, documents, photos, videos, any of this at all. It all shows up here, but generally that's not going to be where you make changes to media. Usually it will be within a post, within a page, within a widget, something of that nature, rather than being directly through here. But you can use this as well, and you can take a look at what you have. You can add new media files there as well. Now we're going to take a look at Forms, and under Forms we really only have one right now, Get in Touch. And so under Get in Touch, all we've got is name, email, reason for the inquiry, and message. Let's take a look at this here though. You can see the drop down. If it turns out you need some other option, you can always add this in. All you do is you click a little plus button and you have a new option, and that option is new, and once you click Update Form, it will show up live on the website. We have this required right now. You don't have to make that required if you'd rather not. You can make this a little bit larger field size. And under Advanced, then there are more advanced options you can explore later on your own. These standard fields over here and these advanced fields are all really about the same level of difficulty. The advanced ones mean that they are advanced in that Gravity Forms, the plugin we're using here, is doing something more advanced for you, not that you have to have advanced skills to use them. So you want to add in a name, you just drag it over wherever you want. If you want to add an address, same thing. Website you want them to be entering in for some website for reference purposes. Checkboxes, all these things work the same. They're all quite intuitive. You just click on them, add in whatever choices you want, and then you can make them required. Any of those things like you need to do. Click Update Form, it makes it live. You can click Preview at any time, but contrary to what the name would imply, it's not really a preview, because you can only preview it once you've clicked Update Form. Any changes you've made otherwise don't show up there. So don't get fooled into thinking it's not working. It's because any changes you make here, the only way you can take a look at them is by making it live, which is unfortunate, but that is the way it is on this particular plugin, and that is where we are stuck at for this time. Hopefully at some point soon they will fix that problem. If you go into Form Settings, we can just leave here because we don't want to save any of those changes. If you go into Form Settings, then you can change out the title, the form description. You can make it say something else at the bottom on the button where they send it out. We always want to have anti-spam honeypot enabled. That makes it so that when a bot that would otherwise be creating spam for you, when it comes through, then it will get tricked into checking this box that says it's a bot, and then that will prevent most of the spam from coming through your forms. Confirmations are what are shown immediately to the customer after they have submitted their contact information. And so right now it just says thank you for contacting us, we will get in touch with you shortly. You can click edit and change out that text to whatever you want. If it's just text, it shows up right on that page where the form was. If it's a page, then it sends them to some other page on your website, and a redirect will send them to a website on some outside page. Notifications are to let you know that something has been submitted on the website. And so right now we have it set up to the email address, judy@rjsroute66.com. You could add additional emails here by using commas and typing in the new email address. You could change out where it's being sent from, and you could add additional subject information to make it more clear to you what it is that you're receiving. Right now it's set to all fields. You could make it so that it's only certain ones. If you just want the name, just want the email, whatever it is, then you can do that there, and then you click Update Notification if you ever want to make that change. Under PayPal, then you can make it so that people are paying directly through Gravity Forms. That's not something that you're doing right now, so if you ever need to do that at some point, if you need help with that, you can let us know, but as of right now, you're just doing all that through WooCommerce, so it's not something you need to worry about at this point. Now, we go into Pages. Pages are all the pages on the website. Most WordPress websites, then the home page is controlled in a separate place from this. On your website, then it is controlled directly through here, and it is called Homepage, which is natural enough, and so that's a good thing. If you want to make changes in the home pages, most of those changes are going to overlap in some way with what we've looked at in Post, but there are parts of it that will not. Let's take a look at the home page first. So we click Edit here, and we have these little drag and drop type things going on here. They're from Visual Composer. There are a lot of details to how these are controlled, and there is no way we could possibly cover all of them on here because they have a million functions built into them, which is great because it means that anything you ever want to do is possible to do through here. What we will take a look at, though, is how to make basic changes here, and in particular to the things that are actually on your website. And so most of that functionality we're not using anyway, so it's fine to just go through in this way. So we have this custom heading. It says, come take a ride, and then we have an advanced button underneath that says shop now. That should sound basically familiar, because if we go here to the home page, it says come take a ride, shop now. So you want to change that. Instead of saying come take a ride, we want it to say let's take a ride. And then you can make changes to the exact font size here, how it's aligned, coloring, any of those things you want to, but most of those are already set in a way you're probably not going to be wanting to mess with too much. We click Save Changes. That doesn't save it everywhere, so right now if we click Refresh here, it still says come take a ride, right? To make that live, you've got to click Update over here as well. So it's saved on here, but you also have to click Update for it to be able to make it live. Now we can click Preview though, and it does say let's take a ride. So you can think to yourself, does that seem right? Is let's take a ride better phrasing, or is come take a ride better phrasing? Make whatever changes you need to make. If you want to change out the wording on the button here, you can do that as well. And so it says shop now, but you can say let's shop! Exclamation point. You can change some colors on there if you want to. So we click Save Changes and we click Preview. got that on there, just like what we told it to be doing. We go down the way and we've got the same thing, this text. Anytime you need to make any changes to the text, you click the little pencil. You go in, and then there is text to be changed, and you can change it. Most of the time, that's the sort of change you're going to be wanting to make. You're not normally going to be wanting to make massive changes to the website. It's normally going to be things like adding a post, changing out some text, changing out an individual image, something of that nature. Let's say you want to change out an image on one of these sections here, and so you decide that that bridge is just a little too grungy. I don't think it is at all, but if you decide that is, then you can come in here, and this little pencil up on top for this whole section, then you click on it. We go over here to background. Design options. We've got that bridge right there, and it's set to cover everything up. You want to add a new image? You look through here, and we decide we want to have some of these cool little wine corks. And so we set the image, we save the changes. Remember, none of this is live on the website right now. Now we've got wine corks in the background. And we've got a little bit clean and modern type look instead. And the other is fine, no problem with the other one at all. But we can test out different things, see what we like, which one looks better, this one or this one. What way do we want to go with this? What feel do we want to give? You can change it out every week, and there's no problem with doing that. To have a change from time to time, it will attract people's attention in some way maybe. So it doesn't have to stay the same all the time. Now if you get too small of an image, it'll get to be too fuzzy looking, and that's fine. You experiment with that, see if it looks good. If you like it, go for it. And if you don't, then of course you don't have to. Same thing down here. On the road, on the mother road, shop now. That's everything you need for there. We have this snippet editor down here, and you'll notice that there's no information on here that would give the preloaded snippet right here. So this is what we've entered in right now. We're more than a t-shirt company selling amazing Route 66 apparel. We're the dreamers, desperados, and learners who love historic Route 66. Now, obviously, I didn't write that myself, but we added that in there to make sure that it was the right amount and it falls in there just right, and so we didn't let it keep on going and going into the other text because that covers what you are. You can change that to whatever you want. You can make it so that that says something other than homepage, and in fact, I would say we probably want to do that actually because homepage is not terribly compelling for SEO purposes. So RJ's, we'll just change it right now. You can always change it out to whatever you want. RJ's Route 66 t-shirts and artistic products. We'll go with that for right now. Go with whatever you want. That would be a little better than homepage. If you'd like to change to something else, feel free to do so, and that'd be totally fine. And so then we click update. Oh, we don't want to click update though, because we don't want to save all those other changes. So we'll refresh this, and then we will just change that snippet, because that's the only thing that we really actually want to be changing. RJ's Route 66 t-shirts and artistic products. And like I say, you can change that to whatever you want. We just want something a little better in there for right now. If we go into some of these other pages, we find that there is different functionality built into them. Let's go to the About page. Oh, looks like that's the wrong one. We've got a couple of straggling pages here that are not the ones that we want. We need to clear those out. Here we go. No, it is the other one. Shoot. I had it right the first time. Okay, so we get rid of this one because we don't need it. It was not about you. Let's go to the Real About Us page right here. There we go. Every road trip has a story. Here's mine. And we have this text in there. To edit the text, of course, it's just like the other. You go in here, you change out the text to whatever you want it to be. Over here, let's preview this so we can remember what this page looks like. We've got an image over here on the left side of you. You want to change out that image, you click this little pencil here again, and under design options, then you can add a new photo. Click plus, just like before, make it be whatever you need it to be. The sizing should all work out on its own. We got some stacked up images here, where we've got the image of the customer who gave the review. We've got the little shields so that they have a logo. We've got the quote down here. You want to change out the image of the person? Well, of course, you just go in and you click the little pencil right there, just like before. You want to change out the text, click the pencil again. Same thing down here. Most of this is fairly self-explanatory. It's not anything that's so very complicated. You go in and you do what feels natural, and most of the time it's going to work. Like we've said before, you always just click preview, see if it is working, and if it is, then you don't need to do anything else. If it's not working, well then try to see if you can figure that out, and then if you can't though, let us guide you. Don't get into a place of great frustration. We'd love to help you out. See if there are any other of these pages that need additional explanation. FAQs has an accordion type thing going on, right? Yeah, so it's just a little bit different, but it's so much the same. All you need to do is click on the pencil, and then you get to change out the title. So the toggle title is just the question. All these aren't really questions precisely, they're just categories. And then underneath it, then you just have the information that explains the privacy policy. So it still works essentially the same. That should cover most of what you need to know for the pages. And if you do have more questions, give us a call, text, email, and we're happy to help out anytime. And it should be easy enough to guide you through most of these things. I don't know if we have comments enabled. I think we do on the blog actually right now. Usually I don't. Yes, and you've already been seeing those, responding to them, so you got this covered. Comments come in here. We can change some settings down here under under discussion, on exactly who is allowed to have a comment on there and who is not, how it's moderated, so forth. Take a look through those. If it's working well for you right now, no need to adjust them, but if you feel like something's going wrong, you can go in there and take a look. If you have other trouble, of course, we can give you some help. Looks like, yeah, these are people that already are very fond of you, and that's great. Very good, very good. So we have WooCommerce here. We want to take a look at WooCommerce. This is very important to your site, of course. You click on orders, you get to see the orders that have already come through. We've got a couple of them already, and you can go into these and you can take a look at all the information about them. The address, shipping details, when it happened, how much the order was for, all those things. And over here, then, oh yeah, and everything's been marked correctly, from processing to completed, you've taken care of it. That's great. Everything's looking really good on that. You got your information down here for the email. Everything is looking really good. So you know what you're doing with this for the most part, it seems like. Under coupons, then we can make it so that people have special deals. The way this works is you just click Add Coupon, and you type in your name for the coupon, a new coupon, and you go through and describe what it is. I take that back. This should be your name like that, coupon 22, you know, your little code thing. So you describe what it is, a great deal, and you can make it a cart discount so that you get a certain number of dollars off or a percentage off, and we can make it so that there's free shipping. You can set an expiration date. You can have some restrictions on the minimum and maximum amounts, the products that it applies to, the products it does not apply to, usage limits so that you can have a certain limit per person or per coupon, so that it only can be used by a certain, just one time, a special deal, whatever you want with that. Once you click publish, you give the right information from here, and then when they can enter that into the in the cart when they're going through the checkout type process, and then they can make that be applied, and that can be a nice little feature for you. For reports, we get to see what has already been spent, so we can look at last month and see these spikes are when we had some sales come through. Over time, hopefully we'll get a whole lot more of those, a whole lot more sales, a whole lot more spikes. Under settings here, then we have a lot of settings for WooCommerce. We won't go over every single one of these. Most of these are going to stay roughly the same. Sometimes you'll need to change them, but it won't be so frequently. Under products, then we have some options about weights, dimensions, how we want them to be displayed. Right now they show up on the store page. You can make them show up somewhere else if you'd rather have some other name for where they're going to be. How you can choose how products are listed by most recent or alphabetical or popularity. You can have product images be different sizes, although I wouldn't advise changing that. Under inventory, then you can set it up so that you have the amount of each thing that you have in stock. And I don't know that right now that you are doing that. I don't think so. At some point that might be something that's reasonable to explore. You don't need to worry about downloads. Under tax, then right now we have it set up so that it will be having it for Missouri. And so we have all these individual counties here that have been uploaded. And we'll show you, well, let's go ahead and look at it right now. We have this down here that this is tax rate upload. That makes it so you can automate this process. It's not quite automated actually, but it's closer to automated, closer. And so what you can do is go to taxrates.com, and then you can get all of the taxes that you need for Missouri. I'm sure there is some exact time of year when everything is updated in that way. I guess it's probably just the calendar year, but I don't know that for sure. And so anytime you want to go and update things though, then you click here to download, and you get a file. You take that file, click choose file here, upload it. Once it's uploaded, then you can make it so you add those tax rates, and it will overwrite whatever old Missouri ones you have so that you always have the right taxes set up. Come in here back into settings, and we have that tax part there. Under checkout, then we have options of the name for the page, and we can make it so we have different orders of how we want people to be paying. Right now we only have PayPal listed down there, and of course they can pay with a credit card still through PayPal. And direct bank transfer, check. None of these things are enabled right now, only PayPal is, so we will just look at this one. It's set up to have the PayPal email be yours, and that's a good thing because we want you to be paid. And if we can make the invoice prefix be something different if we want it to be. Right now it's WC just for WooCommerce. It might be easier to have it be RJ's Route 66. I won't change it right now. They've already gotten a couple. It might be easier for you to just keep them the same now too. So we'll leave that up to you, but then that would make it so that it's easy to identify things that have come through this website. Shipping. And we have right now free shipping set up for everything. And that's even mentioned on the site itself, so I'm sure you don't want to change that at this moment. At some point you do want to change it, then you can come in here and make it so there's flat rate, local delivery, local pickup, etc. For accounts, then people can go in and change out the information for their accounts by going to an account page called My Account. And you don't need to change that right now, and they should have that just on the basis of having an email sent to them automatically, so it's not something you need to keep in mind for the most part. Emails. We have it set up so that then for new order, canceled order, and failed order, then you get an email. These other ones are set up for the customer. You can make it so that you also receive that by going over here to the settings. I guess maybe it was on that other page there. I thought you go to the settings. Maybe you go here. It should be right there. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. So recipient. So we can do comma separation again and make it so that it's more than one person that's receiving that if you ever need to make that change. API should be something that you don't need to worry about at all. So we should be good on that. System status, add-ons, quick view, all those things should be good. Let's take a look at products. Right now, these are all the products that we have on the website. If you ever need to make changes to them, you go in and you click edit, and then you can make all those changes within here. I think you figured out most of these things already, which is wonderful. You've done a very good job of already being able to add products on your own, and I'm very impressed with that because it's not the easiest thing to be able to do. WooCommerce is easy enough to use once you get used to it, but then it does have a bit of a learning curve to it. Down here we have all the product data, and so we can have a SKU number, and we have the price that is the regular price, the inventory on whether it's in stock. Shipping, we don't need to do anything because everything's free. Linked products, we don't need to worry about too much, but you can make it so that there's a certain one that you want to try to upsell from one of your other things. And so if you have a t-shirt that has this on there, are we looking at a t-shirt? No, this is a sign. So if you have you have the sign, you have the t-shirt that both have the same car, maybe you want to upsell one so that then it's mentioned as a part of this checkout type process. Oh, you've bought this. How about you check out this as well? This is a similar product that you would find appealing. Attributes, then we have custom product attributes that we can add, color and size. That doesn't apply to this one, but if we want to, we just click add, and then we can have our terms selected. We can say this is available in black and in green. We save the attributes. Those are the two different versions of that. We'll get rid of all this, and it shouldn't be live anyway because we haven't clicked update yet. And that's what will actually make it all the way live. And yeah, there we go. We're good. Under advanced, then we can add in a little bit of a purchase note, a menu order, everything of that nature there. Down here we have our little short product description. We have our longer one up here that has the image in it as well. We don't want any of these changes to be live. I'm going to go ahead and delete these just to make sure. It took so long to save, it's making me nervous and makes me think that it's actually going to be a part of the main product page, and we don't want that. Any point along the way, you click preview, get to see what it looks like, and you choose these categories, and it makes it show up on different parts of the website. Everything will show up on the main store page. And so if you just click shop, then we have everything on here, regardless of what it is. And right now it's done on the basis of most recent. I don't know if that's the way you want to keep doing it or not, but that's the default, and people can go through here and shift it out to whatever they want. You can also look into accessories, clothing, and home decor, the different categories right there, and that works fine as well. You can always go in here and take a look at these, a little preview of it, or we can go into the actual product itself. Looks really slick in this section, I'd say. You want to add a new product, click Add New Product. It's very simple. Under categories, you can see which things you have within there under each category product. You can always, each product category rather, you can click on this number, see all the different clothing items that you have. This is what you got to sell right now. If you ever decide that you don't have enough of something, then you can set inventory numbers, or you can disable it. You can delete it completely if you think you're done with it forever. Should be very easy to work through on that part. Attributes over here, this is where we have right now, we have our colors, and so we have black, blue, green, pink, white. You can add other ones within the product itself, or you can add them right here. And so if you click edit under color, then I guess we can't add them right here. You can only add them directly through the product. Never mind. So we can change out the name of it, though. We can change out the slug of it, not things you really need to change. You go in here, though, and you add a new one. Instead of color and size, you also want material. Then you type in material. It'll automatically fill it in. If you need to be able to select text, you can. I don't think that's really necessary for what you're doing. So we click material. We have it on there now. Now there will be an option of that you could make that one of the new attributes as well. We're going to delete it, though. Material is gone. That should be most of WooCommerce. It's a lot to take in. You're already doing a good job. If you have more questions on it, let us know and we'll work through it with you. Don't need to worry about the Envato toolkit. Under Appearance, we'll take a look at widgets. So we'll take a look at widgets, and for this, then it's only being used on the sidebar that shows up in the blog, and then also in the footer second widget area. So that is this stuff right down in here. Like us on Facebook, business member, and questions in wholesale, those things there. And then we can make any changes we need to for that. Right now it goes to your Facebook page there, which is where it should continue to go. You can make more adjustments to precisely what shows up in that little box. You can change out any information you need to here. You can change out the image that shows up in there, change out the address for it, add more information in the text underneath it. For the sidebar, we have all these things enabled right now for search, categories, recent posts, etc. If you ever want to delete one of them, just click delete. If you have something else you think might be good, you can take a look at what's available over here, drag it over there, see if it looks good, test it out by going to your blog page. And then if you like it over here, then go for it. If you don't, you can always delete it and get rid of it, or make whatever changes you need to until it looks right. Now we're going to take a look at menus. And this is really quite simple. We don't have any drop-down menus right now. I know we've had talk of having more elaborate drop-down menus at some time, and if we have enough products that becomes the right thing to do, or you just think that's the direction you want to move, let us know. We'll help you get that set up. Right now we just have these main product categories, though. And so what you would do if you're ever wanting to have sub-menus is you just drag this over and it becomes a sub-menu, but we don't have it all built up right to be able to do that in a nice looking way. It'd look okay, but it wouldn't look as good as what you want it to look. And so if you need to rearrange these, you click and you drag, you move them wherever you want. If you need to add something new, you can. We have a lot of menu items on here already. You probably can't get more than that on there, but if you decide one of them doesn't matter that much and you want to replace it with something else, then you could, and that would be fine. We can do pages, posts, products, custom links, categories, etc. Look through all these things, you drag it over. When you want to make it live, you click save, and then it becomes live. We've got a few other menus on here. We don't want to save those changes. And I don't think these are, no, these are just ones that are sample menus. None of these other ones are actually being used. So you can choose that one that is the real one that has the right information on it. Yep, no, we should be good on the rest of these things. So that's how you use menus. Very simple to use. Just save it if you ever want to be making a change. Don't need to worry about these other parts of appearance. Don't need to worry about YIF plugins for the regular plugin section. Then if you want to add new functionality to the site, you can go and you can find your own plugin. Many of those plugins are wonderful. Some of them are not. So it's best to check in with us first, but you can go and experiment on your own if you want. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, well, then that's fine too, and you can always delete it or check in with us and we can help you fix it up. Users. If you need to add new users, which I think has already been done, because I don't think I added these people. The admin. I don't think I added that. Maybe I did. Who knows? But if you need to add a user, then you can click Add New. And we have a new user, and you give an email address and a name. You don't have to give a name, but you can. Not necessarily the notifications we need right now. So let's turn those off. And fill out everything on there. Click Show Password, and it has this really funky password that's difficult to remember, and that's a good thing. You should just go with what they have. If for some reason you think you need to write up your own, don't write a simple password, or anything that is simple, because then it's going to be very weak, and that means it's more likely that the site could get hacked. So instead, you'd have to, if you're going to use it, you have to click Confirm Use of Weak Password. But let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's just have them be good passwords. You can make up your own that is strong and use it, and that's fine. If it's weak, though, that's going to be harmful for your site. You don't want that. For the role, you can choose any of these things on here, but really, the vast majority of the time, you're just going to be wanting to do administrator. That means they can control everything on the site. Most of the time, the people that are going to be coming in here would be having control over everything. If you need to add something else, you can. Subscriber, customer, etc. But most of the time, you're just going to be doing administrator. Click Add New, and they become live. If you ever need to get rid of a user who's already on there, you hover over it, and you click Delete, and they're gone. And there is no trash for these. For other things there are, not for this. So if you delete them, then they're permanently gone unless they sign up for a new account, or unless you sign them up for a new account. We have tools here, and we don't need to be doing anything with these tools that we have right here. So you can safely ignore those. Visual Composer, there is no need to be doing much of anything with this either. It should all be fine. Just leave it as it is. You can go in there and check things if you want to, but it's probably not necessary. Under Settings, we have this general section with a site title, and then it's not on there. Somehow that has become lost, and that's why nothing was showing up earlier. And we'll go with T-shirts and more for right now. Change that to whatever you want later on, of course. Let's click Save. There we go. Keep clicking on those guys. And that's really all there is under this. You can change the administrator email address, but we don't really necessarily need to. We'll go ahead and do it. And you can get any of those emails that come out from the site. Most of them are already set up for you anyway. I think all of them are, but this will be one more layer of protection to be sure that you get what you need to get. For writing, we don't really need to change these things. Shouldn't be necessary. Reading, this shows how many pages will be on the blog page, how many posts will be on the blog page rather. You can change that out if you want to. And no, that should be good. That should be good. Discussion we looked at earlier. This is for comments. You can change out the settings for which comments show up, how much moderation there is that happens in that process. For media, then you can make changes to the sizes of images, but you don't really need to mess with that for the most part. This is just like the automatically generated images, what size they will be. Probably not necessary for the most part. Permalinks, not necessary to look at all. Simple Facebook settings, should be good on that too. Tax rate upload we looked at earlier. Updraft plus backups. Then we'll have this set up to be backing up to our servers, and so then we have those already there. And so if you ever need to have it backed up, if you ever need to have it restored, then we've got that there ready to go. Shouldn't be a problem at all. Social Master, don't believe we need to be changing anything on there. No, we should be good. For SEO, you can take a look through that. Most of those things happen in page. There are a few things you could change in here, add in a little bit of information for a Facebook URL, but it should already be set up automatically through some other plugins we have. But you could go ahead and include those as well, and that might be helpful. Instagram feed, then we already have this set up with an access token and a user ID. Every once in a while, then it's going to say that your token has expired. And it takes a long while, and as far as I can tell, then it's whenever Instagram gets the gumption to tell you need to have a new token. I don't see an exact time that's happening. It seems like it's sporadic, but it's a while. So eventually that might come up if you ever find that it's not showing up correctly. Right now it is, but on the portfolio page here, if it's not showing up correctly, there's a good chance that's the reason why. And all you have to do is click login and get my access token, and then you log in and get it, and then it will tell you to copy some information from here and paste it down into here. And that's all you have to do, and you click Save Changes, and then you're good to go again. You can make some adjustments over here to the number of photos, number of columns, etc. Some color changes as well. If you want to do that, that's perfectly fine, of course. Under Display Your Feed, then these are all different shortcode options. Right now it's already set up to go. If you want to do something more specific from this, go for it. That's fine. But it should work okay as it is right now. And Ultimate does not have anything that should really impact anything that you are doing. And that means that we know everything there is to know about this website. Except we don't really, because there's always more to learn, right? So we are glad to keep helping you through that process. Take a look through these things that we've already said. If you go through those things and you feel like you've tried to implement those and they're not working, or you're growing frustrated, or it just isn't quite coming together right, or I've just done a poor job explaining it, whatever it is, don't hesitate to contact us. We'd love to help out. That's what we're here for. We're glad to do it. So text, email, call, and we will be there for you.